I'm going to teach you 7 life lessons that will unlock your discipline so you can fulfill your potential. I used to consider myself the most undisciplined human on the planet. Lethargy and video games were my middle name, and discipline is literally my dead last, weakest trait on my strengths assessment. So, how do I run a successful business? How do I have this YouTube channel? How do I have a wife that loves me? It's because of these lessons, and if you implement them in your own life, you will succeed. Number 1. You can fix everything that is holding you back. You know how when you're talking to someone, you might hear something like, "I'm an anxious person," or "I'm such a perfectionist." Did you know that you can change that? These things don't have to be your cross to bear. There are tools out there to deal with them. I experienced this firsthand when I was making my first YouTube video. I was sitting in my dining room after publishing my video, and I was thinking that took entirely too long because I was trying to make every single element of the process perfect. So I looked up how to fight perfectionism, and there was a game-changing article in Harvard Business Review, link below. It said perfectionism is repetitively mulling over a thought or problem without ever coming to a resolution. It's unhealthy and it's unproductive. Don't confuse ruminating with problem solving. Even just seeing my bad habit written out like this is helpful, like shining a light in the dark. I reflected and realized I would ruminate and it would waste time. I had spent weeks perfecting my first script, and I spent 3 days figuring out the text and font I wanted in the video. The article goes on to suggest recognize the opportunity cost and time of your behavior and ask yourself, am I using my time wisely? Am I being productive? You're going to be less perfect about some things so you can concentrate on what's important. A year ago, I would have said I struggled with perfectionism, but now I say I used to struggle with perfectionism. It's one less weight in my life holding me back, and I feel that much more capable and productive. And this isn't just perfectionism, it's everything. I used to struggle with anxiety. I used to be insecure. All the tools are out there waiting for you to pick them up so you can eliminate problems from your life forever. Number 2, know your life goals by heart. Do you want to be on fire for life? Do you want to be motivated every day to work harder than you need to reach higher than where you are right now? Of course you do. Now I want to ask you who you think is more motivated, person A or person B. I asked person A their life goals and they said get rich, not have to work, provide for their family, have a big house, nice car. Okay. Person B says, well, I want my wife to quit her job and I want a $500 a month fund to help friends and family in need. It's obviously person B, and I'm person B, and I'm so on fire, my neighbors keep calling the police saying they see smoke. But person A had bigger goals. Why is person B more motivated? Well, odds are, a lot of you are person A, right? You have kind of vague goals to work towards, like make more money, have a big house. But when it comes to a motivating goal, it's not bigger the goal the better, it's more about the more specific the better. Because as you get more specific, your values start steering your goals. I love my friends and family, so my goals ended up being centered around them and getting time with them, and it turned up my motivation. And here is the M. Night Shyamalan twist. I used to be person A. I thought, okay, a big house, nice car, you're in charge, great goals. They were never motivating though, because I actually don't care about that at all, it turns out. So whether you have broad ones or the wrong ones, vague goals will only get you vague motivation. And no, that's not Confucius, that's straight up Tyler Goen. Smash that like and subscribe. Take the time to think about what some of your life goals are, and next time you have a choice between Netflix or your side hustle, you will find yourself reaching for the one that gets you closer to your dream life. Take the time to think about what some of your life goals are, and the next time you have a choice between Netflix or your side hustle, you will find yourself reaching for the one that gets you closer to your dream life. Number 3, reflect daily on your wins. Why is it that we only have 2 modes of being? We have the ideal tier of I'm doing the things I should be doing, this is expected, like some kind of robot, and the lesser tier of I failed to do the things I should be doing, I suck. Those are terrible. It essentially just boils down to did I fail or was I acceptable? And that's no way to live. Instead, make a 3rd tier. I am learning and growing, becoming more the person I want to be every day. I am crushing it. And you do this by reflecting every day on your wins, big and small. You can journal them, just think about them, or speak them out loud to the universe. My wife and I often ask each other, what were your wins today? So we can celebrate each other. They can be big or small, like I was tired and didn't want to write my script for YouTube, but I did it anyways. Or I wanted to binge TikTok, but I read a book instead. If not, you will just focus on your failures. I didn't go to the gym today like I said I would. That sounds bad on its own, and you will go to bed feeling like a failure if you left it at that. But when you stack that up to your other wins of the day, you realize you actually had a net positive day. So shine a big spotlight on your wins each day, and you will find your self-esteem rises, which will have a ripple effect to every area of your life. Because it's hard to keep up with any good habit if every night you go to bed thinking you're a failure. Number 4, process is everything. One of my favorite parts of James Clear's Atomic Habits is his imagery with the ice cube. So, picture a very cold room, 23 degrees Fahrenheit, with an ice cube sitting on the table. When the temperature in the room goes from 23 to 24 degrees, the ice cube sits there, unaffected. It raises another degree from 24 to 25, still nothing. He relates this to our efforts, whatever habit we are working on. Losing weight, working out, learning a language, starting a business. What visible gains will any of these habits see after a 1 week or 1 month's time? Not much, if anything. Just like with the ice cube, there's no discernible change. The super buff person hasn't worked out for just 1 month, they've been at it for years. The business owner who sold his company for $5 million has been working on it for 5 days a week for 5 years. We hear about the sale, we understand it was one transaction, so we picture this huge one-time event. Back to the ice cube, when that room goes from 32 to 33 degrees, it finally melts. But it wasn't that 1 degree change that did it, it was every degree that came before it. And why is this so important? Well, how many of us have given up on something because it wasn't happening fast enough? We didn't see the results. If you have, it's because you lacked the belief and understanding that you absolutely will succeed if you continue with the process. And it's so freeing and powerful to remove doubt from your life. Take YouTube, for example. How many people think becoming a successful YouTuber is a gamble? Well, it's not. My process is to post consistently and to learn with each video. It might take 500 videos, it might take 100 videos, but eventually this channel will succeed because I focus solely on process and not outcomes. Having an outcome-based focus is when after posting 5 videos or 50 and the channel hasn't had significant growth, I get disappointed or hopeless and give up. The room could have been at 32 degrees, just on the cusp of success, but I stopped trusting the process. There's an entire book about this, by the way, The Slight Edge, that I will link in the description. Number 5, failure is essential. This is not about learning from failure. That's good, but this is a step further than that. Most people understand learning from failure, but they see it as trying to extract some little prize from their huge mistake. The problem with this is that we are still seeing failure as bad, as embarrassing, as loss, as avoidable. But failing isn't bad at all, it's how we learn. And we innately understand this with something like learning the piano. When you're trying to learn a song and you press the wrong key, you're failing. Over and over, you press the wrong key as you strive to get it right through repetition. After failing so many times, you forsake the piano and hide away from society in shame? No, you continue and you call it practice. Can you imagine being ashamed for practicing? Practice is a great thing, and practice is just failure. Mash these two concepts together because you don't get anywhere good without some level of failure, and you can be afraid of it and embarrassed by it, or you can full on embrace it as necessary and good, just as practice is for sports and instruments. Number 6, divide and conquer your projects. When most of us think of doing a project or task, we think of it in the worst possible way. Whether consciously or not, we picture doing it all at once. Take cooking, for example. When you picture making dinner, you think, okay, I need to take all the food out, prep it all, and then cook it all, and that's gonna take a lot of work. Some of you might even go further back and add picking out the recipe or grocery shopping. That's a lot at once, and it's hard to muster up the discipline to tackle such a big project. There's a much better way, and it's to break it all up, divide the project into manageable parts. Monday is choosing 4 recipes, Tuesday you shop for them, Wednesday morning you cut the vegetables, then at night you cook them. Doing it all at once takes all night and all your energy, whereas breaking it up barely takes any energy at all. It's the same when I'm editing a wedding video. I can say, I'll just edit the ceremony today, or I'll just work for 40 minutes today on it. Okay, but why don't we do this? Because there are 2 parts to a task. There's doing the task and there's thinking about the task. Your thoughts are actually what is getting in the way. They are saying, I don't want to spread cooking out over 3 days. I don't want to keep thinking about it over and over. My whole entire life will be cooking. I'll never do anything else, and I just want to commit to it and get it done at once. But this is a trap, and it's going to fail. Why? Some tasks are easy to get done at once, and some would take an immense amount of energy. When you tell yourself, I'm going to cook mushrooms right now, your brain says, no problem, easy. When you tell yourself, I'm going to cook a 5-course meal tonight, your brain says, what? Not if I can help it. And then gets you to procrastinate and avoid it like the plague. When you don't allow yourself to break down projects, when you lump all the work together and put it on your future self is going to peace out and pass it along to its future self as well. No version of you, present or future, wants to do that large amount of work. Learning to divide and conquer the project is going to take some retraining of your brain and some healthy self-talk. I often take a sticky note and break down a project in writing, which, bonus, gets it out of my head, and then I can cross off each one as I go along. Number 7, make time for fun. It's 8:30 and I have been working nonstop today and I'm wrapping up my script. You know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to get some good food, hang out with my wife and baby, read a great fantasy novel, and sleep for 9 hours. I honestly can't wait. And that was really a hard lesson for me to grasp. Past Tyler had a hard time having fun and resting because there was so much to be done. Past Tyler must have been super productive then, right? If he didn't spend time resting? No, of course not. He procrastinated like crazy and it was this vicious cycle of never having fun and then being unable to work because I wasn't rested. Nowadays, I can get work done because I know the fun is coming. That's what it means to get work done. It's done. It's over. You're done working. The fun then fills my cup and I wake up the next day rejuvenated, ready for more. And make sure it's actually fun you're having. They said 43% of TV watching is depressed viewing. And then you have doom scrolling, social media, all that stuff you always regret doing after you do it. Find a good book, watch a movie you've been dying to watch, learn something new, play a solo board game, hang out with friends and family. If you need help making friends, watch my video here. It's how I made friends. 10 years ago, I never would have imagined I could be as disciplined as I am now. That's how powerful these life lessons are. If you want to hear more about achieving the life you want, fulfilling your potential, like and subscribe.